Hi there, I'm Megan Breen, a history student at the University of Portland. I'm a part of the Collaborative Humanities Investigating Religion and Power, or the CHIRP Lab, which is an interdisciplinary working group. This video is a part of a series addressing key concepts that play an important role in our ongoing research. In this video, I'm going to be discussing particularly religion and power. In our previous video on religion, we established a broad definition of religion as a symbolic tradition that mediates the experience of the transcendent and cultivates a sense of identity. In this video, I'm going to identify some of these different power dynamics through both conventional institutional religious practice and broader lived religions. So in our video, What is Power?, we discussed in a deeper context power as a phenomenon best described by its impact. But let's review some brief definitions of the various signatures of power offered by Mitchell Dean. We'll discuss these in terms of A and B. A and B could be a dynamic between groups, individuals, governments, etc. So power over. In power over, A has power over B to the extent that they can get B to do something B would not otherwise do. In this situation, A holds all the power and B does not hold any. Power with. A has some power over B, B has some power over A. In this, both groups hold some of that power, and it's more of a consensual, shared relationship. And on the right, power to. This can be a little bit difficult to tease out from power with, but in power to, we're focused on the outcome. So A is able to affect B to get a desired outcome. A may originally hold more power, but they're elevating the voices of B and giving power to them. Let's start with examples of power over. So the examples I'm going to offer here are clericalism and parenting. Both of these get at the idea of a caste system that places one group of people over another in a hierarchical fashion, but we're also going to show that it can be oppressive or a good thing. So on the left-hand side, we have a picture of the Pope. In this picture, he's literally being carried over a group of people. He's the one with the power in this situation. He's the holy figure, and the masses are not the ones with power. Instead, they're supposed to listen to the ideas of the Pope. And in parenting, some parents can exercise power over their kids. However, this is in a way that can be beneficial for the child's development. The power dynamics of our household help cultivate a communal identity, which is key when we're defining lived religion. All right, next we're going to talk about power with. So the two examples we're going to go over are translation of religion across cultures and artistry or performance art. So when a religion is open to the influence of other cultures and they're integrating symbols of the other culture into their own, they're sharing that power. They're not erasing the culture that they're coming into. Instead, they're uniting the community through these shared practices and rituals. Another one that may not seem as obvious is artistry or performance art. Whether that's the dynamics between two collaborative artists, a band or a cast in a theatrical performance, or the dynamics between the audience and the performers. In this, the ritual is marked by a deep sense of listening. So the audience is deeply listening to what the performers are offering them and empowering them with, and the audience is coming away with a message that the performers have delivered. Lastly, let's talk about power to. So a great example of this is when a religion supports the liberation and inherent rights of an oppressed group. Particularly in this example, I'm going to use pro-union Catholic stance. So historically, the Catholic Church has supported and elevated the voices of workers' unions. The particular example we have here on the left is a group of graduate workers at Boston College arguing that the university is betraying its Jesuit values and refusing to recognize their union. So in this example, the Catholic Church is actually not granting power to the union workers. However, the students are arguing against this and saying that historically, this is not congruent with the beliefs the Catholic Church has practiced. In my last example for power to, liberal arts education. So liberal arts education is intended to be a series of practices that provide students with skills and abilities to determine the paths of their lives and their future. So that means that giving someone more options for their future is inherently a form of giving power to that individual. You're empowering them to have the choice with where they're going in life. And through the courses and studies that liberal arts education offers, they're granting this to their students from the institution. So, in conclusion, religion, whether institutional or lived practices, is always exercising some form of power: power over, power with, or power to. Whether that be for empowering purposes or oppressive depends on a certain example and situation. The Chirp Lab is interested in both of these concepts. We don't want to look at just the oppressive, we also want to recognize the benefits that this can offer. Thank you so much for listening. If you're interested more in the definitions that we offer in our lab for power and religion, please check out our videos, What is Power and What is Religion? They take a deeper dive into it and also give some great examples and people to look into further for more information. Thank you so much.